Hello and welcome to Excel Essentials. In this session, we'll be covering slicers and how to use them. Now, slicers in Excel are a visual tool that can help you filter data. So, for example, we have some data on screen and we're going to use slicers to help filter that data. It's extremely user-friendly because there are clickable buttons and you can segment your data quite quickly. So I'm just going to go through how you can do that. So as you see, we've got this data here. And one of the things that we need to do first to this data is to turn it into a proper table. So to do this, we can either go to Insert and click on Table, or we can just hit Control T. And here you can see it's selected our data in the table in this range. Make sure you have My Table has headers selected if you have headers like I do, and then click OK. And now, as you can see, it has created our table. I'm going to just put it in a different color. And one of the things we're going to do is, and this is one of my preferences for using sliders, is I'm just going to select the first few rows of Excel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do Control-Shift+, and I'm just going to create some empty blank space above the table. Now here is where I prefer to put my sliders, so then you can filter and then you have your data underneath it. You could do that from the side as well if you wish, but this is just my preference. So to insert a slicer, you can click on your table and go to Insert and Slicer, or you can go to Table Design and click Insert Slicer from here. So we're just going to click Insert Slicer, and then you get this little window that pops up. Now on this window, it has all your column headings, so everything from employee name to manager in this instance. Now I'm going to select base location and department, for example, and then we're going to click OK. And as you see, it inserts two slices for us and it's placed it on screen. Now, as you can see, these slices have one column. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag them to the top for us for the moment. And as you see, they're a little too big for where we want to put them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to resize both of these. And you can do this like a shape in PowerPoint by resizing them. And as you see, we still have that one column effect. Now slicers don't automatically size columns or create more columns in them. So for example, on base location, it might be worth leaving it like these four, but on department, users will have to scroll. If we want to get rid of this scrolling function, we can go back to slicer at the top, which is a new part in our ribbon. Now, if we go to the right hand side, we can see some stuff with buttons and the size. And as you see, we've got a column filter. So I'm just going to increase that to 2. And we've now got a 2-column view here. You can also do 3 or 4 or 5, as many as you want. But if I take it down to 2 again, we can see we have our slices now visible with each of the buttons. Now you may see as I'm hovering over some of the buttons that they are going into a different color. So this is just like a normal reactive button that you would use in other applications. You can also change the design of your slicers. So if I wanted it to be orange, I could make it orange, green, a different blue, a purple, a black. There are a range of different ways you could color up your slicers. So this is just an example of how you may want to format them. Now, let's say we want to have a look at everyone who works in Jersey, for example. So you click on Jersey and your table filters to just everything where base location equals Jersey. Now you may have noticed something in the department that it automatically sorted and these two have grayed out. Now, the reason why cooks and recipe definers in marketing and advertising are grayed out is because no one works in those departments in the location that we set. And we can see here that that is true based on what we have filtered on. Now you can clear the filter by clicking the X and filter button here. And there you go, you get your full table back. Now, if I was to click on Mexico, for example, we have the same reaction happen. But let's say I want to have a list of everyone who works in IT in Mexico. So I've already filtered to Mexico on base location, and I'm just going to click on IT. Now, these slices work together to filter the data. Now, if I was to unfilter Mexico, for example, I would still get everyone who works in IT across the business. So this is just an example of how these slices work together when you have multiple of them. And if you need to select more than one region, you can do multi-select. And I'm just going to select Jersey, and now you get everyone working in IT in Mexico and Jersey. And you can unselect that on your slices, and if I was to click UK, it would just show me people working in IT in the UK. So these are just a few examples of the ways that you can use slices. Stay tuned for more Excel Essentials.